When you first receive your camera, read through the included Quick Start Guide. The Quick Start Guide is also available for download at HuddleCamHD.com/resource-library. When you first open the box, you will find the camera, a Quick Start Guide, a USB 3.0 cable, an IR remote control, and 2 AAA batteries. Note, this camera is powered via USB. If you only plan on using the HDMI connection, you will need to have this camera connected to a USB power source. Start by opening the back of your IR remote control and insert the included AAA batteries. Next, take the included USB 3.0 cable and plug it into your computer and the back of the camera. Plug the rectangular Type A connector into your host computer and plug the square Type B connector into your camera. Next, you can mount your camera to a tripod or wall mount using the 1/4-20 connection port on the bottom of the camera to securely fasten the camera down. Or you can use the monitor clamp to securely attach the camera to any monitor or LCD display. Once your camera is connected to your computer and set up in an ideal location, it's time to use your camera with a video conferencing, production, or recording software application. Using your preferred software application, you will notice that you have a webcam source option called HuddleCamHD. Select this option and see that your camera's video feed will be available to your chosen video software. You can now use your included IR remote control with your camera. You can use it to zoom in slow or fast. You can use the buttons on your IR remote control to control the zoom and camera at different speeds. Once the camera has zoomed in, you can pan and tilt using the up, down, left, right directional pad buttons. You can set an EPTZ camera preset by moving to a specific location and pressing the preset button on the IR remote control and choosing a number to save that unique preset to. You can recall this preset simply by pressing the number you have chosen. In this way, you can set up multiple EPTZ camera presets and recall them with your IR remote control or the HuddleCamHD software. Note, other software applications can also be used to control your HuddleCamHD Pro. These cameras provide PTZ controls using standards-based UVC control solutions. Software such as Zoom video conferencing and vMix have already been tested. You can also use the HuddleCamHD control software or PTZ optics camera control software, both of which are available for free download. Check out our website for the latest information about camera control integrations with industry partners. Next, you should familiarize yourself with the OSD, on-screen display menu of your camera. It is here where you can reach all of the fine-tuned settings that your camera is capable of using. You can view the OSD menu by pressing the menu button on your IR remote control. Here you can adjust exposure settings to fine-tune shutter speed, aperture, gain, dynamic range compensation. Next, you can adjust the color settings. One useful white balance mode is the one push feature you can use to quickly have the camera calculate your room's white balance for the camera. If you happen to know the color temperature of the lighting used in your space, you can use the VAR mode to select a color temperature for your camera's white balancing between 2500 Kelvin and 8000. You can also fine-tune your camera's image settings, the sharpness, and even flip the image vertically or horizontally. The settings area is where you can fine-tune your camera's EPTZ and auto framing features. By default, EPTZ is set on, and the zoom limit is set from 1 to 3x. Check out the chart below to see the resolutions that you will be working with at various EPTZ zoom levels. You will have the following options for limiting your EPTZ zoom levels: 1x to 3x, 1x to 4x, 1x to 8x, and more zoomed-in options that start by default at 2x to 4x, 2x to 8x, and 3x to 8x. Depending on your project, you may want to limit the zoom ranges to maintain a specific video resolution from your camera. In the settings area, you can also change the HDMI video output resolution. The HDMI 1.4 video output supports resolutions up to 4K 30. To use the HDMI video output, you simply need to connect your camera to any HDMI input or display using an HDMI cable. Note, you may need to change your HDMI video output setting to match the monitor you are working with. DVI mode uses RGB color encoding, while HDMI uses YUV color encoding. You can always set your camera back to default settings using the IR remote shortcut *6. More useful IR shortcuts can be found on the second page of the camera datasheet. Auto framing for this camera is set to off by default. In the settings area of the OSD menu, you can turn this feature on. When you are first setting up this camera for auto framing, you can use the demo mode to see the logic the camera is using to automatically frame the subject. During demo mode, you can see red boxes around objects that it considers a face. This is an easy way to quickly see the faces that the camera detects in the room for auto framing. Best practices for setting up a camera for auto framing include: make sure your participants are in a well-lit area, a solid background is behind the participants, which can improve performance, and subjects must sit at a sufficient distance from the camera. We recommend a minimum distance of 2.3 feet, or 0.7 meters. If you are ready to turn on auto framing, you can do so in the settings area of the OSD menu. Finally, you may want to download the HuddleCamHD camera control software, available at HuddleCamHD.com. This application allows you to control the EPTZ camera from any Windows or Mac computer. When you open this application, click the settings cog in order to set up your camera for control. Click the UVC radio button to control your USB-connected HuddleCamHD Pro. Then select the HuddleCamHD camera in the drop-down menu. You can also set up this application to run in administrator mode and also run at startup. You can also create a preset for the camera to call and choose the pan and tilt zoom speeds. Once you click apply, you can use this application to control your HuddleCamHD Pro. You can also set up controls with an IP web server, which will allow you to control the camera from any web browser. This means you can control the camera with any smartphone and nest camera controls nicely into software such as Open Broadcaster software. In the settings area of the HuddleCamHD control application, you can see a web server option. Once enabled, this IP address can be used with OBS, for example, to dock the control panel inside of your Open Broadcaster software interface. To do this, simply open the Custom Browser Docs section of OBS and enter the IP address into the application, starting with http://. Then, you can drop this window directly into multiple areas of the interface of OBS. If you have any issues during the setup process of your HuddleCamHD EPTZ camera, please contact support at the phone number listed on HuddleCamHD's website or submit a ticket at help.huddlecamhd.com.